Hello, everyone, and welcome to our series of the Business Owner Clarity Series. So this is our second one of this series, and I hope you guys continue to join us either in the Zoom room or out on or inside of our group. So if you're inside of the group, you can listen in, ask questions inside there. We have someone monitoring that as well. But I want you to just kind of chime in, take some notes, ask questions if you need to, and we're just going to dive right in. So today's topic is why you are still carrying the team. Last time we talked a lot about time. We're going to talk a little bit more about time because time is just so important and so valuable. But this time we're going to talk more about the delegation of your time so you can create more space for your day so that you're not creating an atmosphere where you're doing all of the things even though you hired a team to do them. Sounds good? Awesome. The agenda. So a little bit of housekeeping, and we'll do this every time. So when you join us, this will be repetitive so that you guys can come in and just be ready. So housekeeping, who we are, introductions of who's in the room. We'll go through some content. We'll give you application of that content, a way to stay in action, and then we'll do what we call BFOs, and I'll talk about that a little later, and get feedback from you. So my promise is always that I'll give you something to think about, give you something to do, and give you a way to continue the learning. We don't like to leave you hanging. The rules. Get the most out of this. We want you to turn off your phones unless you're watching it on the phone. We want you to watch it on the phone, but turn off your notifications so you're not getting bothered while you're watching. We do love audience participation here. So please, like I said, ask questions, raise your hand, and we are sure to either answer your questions during this or someone will be in there to answer your questions afterwards if we don't see it, because sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. Put your cameras on if you're in the room. If you're taking notes, this is really important and we don't talk about it a lot. Use colors. Don't just write in your regular black pen. Sometimes to just spark the creativity, if you're trying to think of a new idea, come up with something different, use colors to activate a different part of your brain. Call out the answers and raise your hand. So just be very participatory as you are watching this. Even if you are not watching it live, do this for yourself, even if you are watching this after the fact. The video will still be live in the group, so you can still ask questions and we'll come back through and answer those for you. So a little bit about us. If you have not been introduced to Action Coach before, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about us. We are the #1 business coaching firm here in the Tampa Bay area. We are part of a global franchise that's been around here for 30 years. We have been here for 17 years in this area. Globally, there are like 1,000 coaching offices in 70, it's actually over 80 countries worldwide. It's privately owned and founded by Brad Sugars. He's an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur of various business and also an author of many books. The vision here is to create world abundance through business re-education. What Brad found 30 years ago is that he was helping business owners, but they weren't having success because they were applying old concepts to their businesses and weren't thriving. So he created this whole process, a new way of looking at business so that businesses can work without the owners. We coach over 15,000 businesses each week across all of those countries. So we're quite busy and we kind of know what we're doing, right? So sometimes you come into these rooms and you're not sure who you're listening to. We want you to be sure that we are not just telling you about our experiences, but the experiences we've had with many other business owners. So we're going to take a few minutes to just go through and get a brief introduction. Now, if you're business owners, you should have your 30-second spiel already lined up. That's all we want today is 30 seconds. Give you some ideas of some things that you can say inside of that, because I do want to know your name, the name of your business or what you do, number of years, industry, And if you can get this in 30 seconds, number of employees and your number one business challenge. All right. Sounds good. Uh-oh. Let's see who we have in the room. Megan, would you like to start first?
Sure thing. Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Francis. I'm the executive assistant here at Action Coach Tampa Bay, and I'm excited to help take your business to the next level.
Thank you, Megan. Now, if you're watching this in the group, please put an introduction of who you are and just type it out under the comments. We really appreciate that. Thank you. And who do we have next? So I can't see you guys.
I will go next. I
Thank
am
you.
Stacy Peasall. I am one of the fabulous coaches. Honored to be on the team of Action Coach Tampa Bay. And I have been coaching for the last 14 years, and I'm excited to be here and to learn and to support because when we're talking about time or we're talking about team, it's always I want to say a challenge, but it's always an area that I can use improvement on and helping to support others.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy. Alexa? I don't know if Alexa's available. Okay. All right. So please, if you are watching this either live or on the replay, drop your information in the comments so that we can keep up with you. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get into some content. But before we do that, I want you to be focused, right? And one of the things we like to do is to help you set your RAS, your reticular activating system. And this is setting the tone for what you want to get out of this. So sometimes we have to go, well, not sometimes, many times when we're setting goals or we're learning more information, sometimes we need to just, I said sometimes again, we need to think about what we want to get out of the experience, kind of go in with the end in mind. Because once you set your RAS, and RAS, for those of you who are not familiar, it is the example is once, like, take for instance, you go out and go look at a new car. It's a red Chevy, particular model. You're falling in love with this car. It is beautiful. You think you're the only one in the world who's going to have this car. You leave the lot and that's all you see. Never saw this vehicle before, but now you see it because now your mind is programmed to pick it up. So that is the same thing about goals as well as choosing what you want to get out of a situation, setting your RAS for that. So with all of that explanation, what is it that you choose to get out today? Write this down. Be very specific. Um, you've shown up because you saw the title. So what is it about that title that intrigued you? And what is it that you hope to get out of this? So do this even if you are watching the replay. And pause it if you need to so that you have time to write it out. So this is what today is about. Today is not about motivation or theory. We can watch many motivational videos. We can look up any theories. There's so many ways to get education. That's not what we're here for. It's about understanding why you're having the problem that you're having, why this problem exists, and how to fix it with structure and focus. That is what this is about. So I want to start with a client success story because, like I said, we've dealt with a number of people. And I'll just read this to you. So Juliet, I'm sorry, Nathan writes in, thank you to Juliet and the team at Action Coach. They have helped me to implement a CRM to track estimates and leads, hire a virtual assistant that has taken over marketing and administrative tasks, created sales scripts, just a number of things. So he says before coaching, he didn't have written goals, and now he has a 3-year, 1-year, and 90-day goals. What? So that he knows what numbers he needs to hit to achieve the goals. And he expresses how excited he is to have his business grow. This is the kind of thing we like to do. And what you'll find in this community is that there are a number of business owners, no matter if they've been in business 20 years or 2 years. They are going through it. They're having some of the same challenges. It may be at a different level, but they're having some of the same challenges. And many of that is around time, team, and money. So that's what you hear us talk a lot about because it's around those things just at different levels and different ways of those things show up at throughout the course of the business. So if you can identify with Nathan, then you are definitely in the right room. So I know many of you identify with this. You're working 60 hours a week inside your business and you're exhausted. You're exhausted. You can't see what you need to see in order to make the business grow. You're feeling stuck. And it's not because you're not working hard, but because you just can't see what's holding you back. So you see the gentleman in the jar, poor baby. He cannot see what he needs to see. But from our perspective, we can see the whole thing. He can't see the label that's on the jar. He doesn't know what's going on. But this is why you need outside perspective so that they can help you to to not only see what you don't see, but learn the things that you don't know you need to learn. See where the gaps are. I like to explain business and the way we help business owners is the business is a puzzle. It's a puzzle that you put together, put together all the pieces you know how to put in. And what we'll come and do is see that there are some spaces where there's some puzzles pieces missing. We help you to not only identify the pieces, but what piece needs to go next because we may not need to go to the edges. May need to come into the middle. So that's how we can come in and help you. And that's why it's so important that you're here watching and listening and learning how to apply and not just learning to be learning. And also that this is not just about money. Many of you went into business not just because you wanted more money, but you went in because you wanted more time freedom. You wanted to have control over your time so that you can spend more time with your family, right? So it is important that you understand, well, I know you understand the human cost, but it's important for us to point that out because we don't want to get so wrapped up in how much revenue we're bringing in and how much the margins and the strategies. But the end result is the reason you do this, the reason you stay with it when it's hard, is because this gives you an opportunity to actually create more time with your family. And you do that through growing the team and growing the revenue. But this is so important. So, our coaching, we always talk about this. Our coaching is not just about the business, it's about the lives that we get to impact. Hey, we're impacting the lives of you and everyone around you. We hear so many times where business owners they will have a great experience or learn to manage their time better, learn to give away some of their duties and get a sense of freedom because and feel a little lighter and be able to be more present in the places that they want to be present. And that's really what we get excited about here at Action Coach. So here are the things that we hear all the time. You're busy. The business is technically growing, but time feels scarce, money feels tight and unpredictable, and all the effort you're putting in does not equal the reward, or it doesn't feel like that, right? And we know that if working harder solved this, you wouldn't still be here. That is not the solution. Working harder is not the solution. I know that's not what the world is telling you, but the truth is working smarter is. So that's the purpose of us talking today. So we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of things. So like I said, this is getting you out of chaos and getting you into control. So it is figuring out why you have a team of folks and you are still not allowing them to do the work, or you're still doing most of all the things that you hired them to do. It's about your time. Your time is your most valuable asset. The other myth I want to dispel is, I know we hear this all the time. We all have the same amount of time a day. Now, I'm not saying that we don't all have 24 hours, but however, comma, if I'm just thinking about my time, yeah, I have just I have a limited amount of time. But if I leverage the time of other people, oh, that's a different story. If I can leverage other people doing the things that takes me too long to do, I can get time from them. So my day looks as if I'm getting so much more done because I'm allowing other people to do the work that I don't really want to do, I don't enjoy doing, and then it takes a different skill set for, right? Because when you think about, well, we won't name names, we'll just go ahead. But there are some people, it looks like they're getting so much done. Like, how are they getting all that done? They are not. They have a team. They have a team. So your most valuable asset is your time. How you invest your time is one of the keys to business success. It's so, so important. Do not skip out on this. So the three main areas of time mastery is self-mastery, planning mastery, and delegation. If you go back to the last video, you'll hear last week's or 2 weeks ago, it's more about self-mastery. Today, we're going to delve into delegation mastery and just spend a little bit more time on that today. Before we do that, because you're business owners, it's important. It's important that we go through mindset. It's so important because part of the reasons that you are doing all the work is because you are choosing to. Some of the things you could have let go of that you just haven't. So I want to go through mindset and we're going to go through what we call the point of power. The point of power is you taking ownership for whatever is going on in your business or what's not happening. You taking ownership. We have an acronym, and I'm just going to bring it up. The acronym is BED. BED stands for blame, excuses, and denial. So if you're looking at your situation and you're saying things like, I'm so busy, I'm not getting things done, my team is this or my team is that, or why aren't they doing this? That is a bunch of negativity. That's blame, excuses, denial. Even when you're talking to your team, you're asking why they're not doing anything. You are inviting them. You're inviting them to give you an excuse. You're inviting them to deny, or you're inviting them to blame someone else because that's easy to do. It's not encouraging responsibility. That's in a powerless state. You're powerless as a business because you're not getting anything done by asking those questions. You're disempowering your team member because now you're putting them in a place where they feel like they need to defend themselves. A better solution for this is to be above the point of power and taking ownership of whatever the situation is, whatever's not meeting your expectation in your business in terms of your team, your productivity, taking ownership of that. So the acronym above the point is OAR, OAR, ownership, accountability, and responsibility. It is up to you to look at the situation and say, what can be done? How can we meet these expectations? How can we implement something a little differently so we get the results that we're looking for? You hear the how? The how is solution based, right? The how is solution based. How can we move forward? This alone right here is worth the price of admission because you can teach this one thing right here to your staff and you guys adhere to this and make sure that you're always above the point. Put it on your wall. This right here is worth the price of admission because this can set the tone for how you all operate in your business from this point on. You will get more things done if you focus on the how can instead of the why did. Now let's get into what we can do in terms of delegating, because I know delegating can be hard because you know this business. For many of you, you started the business. This is your baby. You know how to do all the things. You've gotten the clients. The clients love you. You know what you can produce. You have put your all in all into this. So it's difficult. It's difficult to give away pieces of this. I understand. However, if your goal is to create time freedom, to make the revenue that you need to create more time, right? And to do the things that you want to do in life, then we have to. You must let go to grow. So we're going to kind of walk you through that today. I'm going to walk you through it. The start of this, though, is understanding where is your time going. What are you doing with your time? What are the things that you're jumping into? Um, and I'll even go further than that. If you already have a team, what did you hire that team to do? What are their job functions that you actually said, I'm hiring them to do these things? And what parts of their jobs are you still doing? What parts are you still jumping in to fix? When they come to you with an issue, do you ask them a question that leads to them figuring out themselves, or do you put on the superhero cape and jump in, rescue them from the issue, and then leave them with no new knowledge, no way to do it, like no strategy or teaching them any skill for getting it complete on their own. So what you just did was you made sure that every time they have that problem, they're going to call you. Every time they run into an issue, they're going to reach back to you. That's why you continue to be doing a lot of things, but getting nothing done. That's why you have a team that where it doesn't feel like they're being very, very productive because you haven't given them permission to do what it is they need to do. So, first thing, basic time lock to help you find tasks that should be delegated or the ones that are the responsibility of someone else that you hired. Look for things you want to do but don't need to do. Find it, and that could be just about anything. Because sometimes when we know we need to do things and we don't really feel like doing them, we'll find other things to do. So we may find ourselves scrolling, or we may even do something helpful. We may go help out a friend because they need some help. But that's not really what you should be doing at the time. You have some tasks that you have to do with your business in order to move the business forward. But sometimes when you're not comfortable doing that, you'll avoid it. The other thing is, and we're big on this here, is find 5 hours a week so you can work on the business. Working on the business is working on the strategy, your marketing strategy, looking at your numbers to make sure where you are, looking at your financial numbers, knowing where your revenue is, what your margins are, those things. It's not doing the technical things that's inside your business. So you can either be the owner of a painting company that's taking the company into a direction where you know all the things that need to be done, or you can be the painter. So for you, it's less time being the painter, and more time being the owner. So finding at least 5 hours, going ahead and mark it on your calendar, 5 hours to work on the business. Also, delegation. Delegation. We're going to talk more about how we figure out what to delegate. So it's not just about letting go, but it is empowering your team so that they will take more ownership of what they're doing and come up with great ideas, take the initiative, work a little harder because they feel that what they are doing matters to the company and matters to the goals of the company and their particular goals as well. Make sure when you delegate, you don't just abdicate. So let's talk about that. So there's one thing I don't feel like doing it, so I'm going to have someone else do it and just give it to them with no direction, not teaching them how to do it, not giving them the process because you haven't even taken it out your head to even understand what your process is. You just want them to do it. That's one way to do things. I don't advise that. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. What I do, that's abdication. What we want you to do is to delegate. The true definition of delegation is preparing them to succeed in the role, which means that there's a process by which to teach them. There is a written process of what the job entails and giving them the proper training to get it done. You are going to set them up for success in the role because if not, then you wasted everyone's time. That doesn't work. Um, so that's the difference between abdication is just giving it to someone and telling them, I just don't feel like doing it, and the delegation of this is how we get this done. The other thing is to train, assist, and measure. So you're going to micromanage in the beginning. Whenever you give someone a new duty or hire someone new, you're going to take some time to train them, and you're going to have to micromanage. Even if someone comes into your company with 20 years of experience in somewhere else, doing the same exact job, they've never done it for you inside of your company. They don't know your culture. They don't know how you do things and what your end results, your desired end results are. So it is very important that they come in knowing the way that you do it and the rules of the game for your company. Very important. Do we have any questions or any comments or anything that's coming up before I continue? Okay, awesome. So this, we love some charts. We love some charts here at Action Coach. And this is one, I call it the fun skill chart. So this one says interest level. This is a little more formal. But this is after you have written down all of your duties, all the things that you get to do in your business that you're choosing to do, then let's categorize those and put them actually in these boxes. Draw this out. So what is it that requires high skill that probably only you can do it, and the thing that you love to do? So this is the high skill, high fun section that you would want. Put everything in here. So if you run a company and, like, I will just go with the painter, and you love to paint and that's your highest skill, then put it in here. But if also you're the one who brings in the sales, put that in here too, right? Because if you're the people person, you're the ones up front and you drive the revenue, then you love doing that. So you love to be at the networking events and those things, then put that up here. But there are other things that are low skill and low fun for you. And for many people, the thing that falls in here is generally like email, right? This is where the emails generally fall in. No one really likes to do those, but they need to be done. So it is a low skill. It doesn't take a lot of skill in here, a lot of teaching in terms of teaching people how to go through and maybe manage your email and set it up or organize it, right? So this is something that you can probably start to delegate. So write all those things in here. So I would like for you to, as you're starting this, just do these two blocks first. There'll be other things in here that are low skill but high fun. There'll be some of those things in there as well. But these are the things that you definitely want to keep for now. And these are the things that you'll definitely want to start a process of delegating. So it doesn't mean you have to delegate it right away. Doesn't mean that you have to hire a full-time person to do it. This can be for an intern. This can be for a part-time. This can actually be handled by a system. So maybe there's a system or a software that can do this. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an entire person, because that's sometimes the what deters business owners from delegating or hiring, or well, I should just say delegating, is because you think you have to have budget for an entire person, W-2 full-time person. That's not necessarily the case. So, but so we were talking a bit about mindset. So this is a little bit more of the mindset that you have to adapt as you are restarting to delegate. First, realizing that you have to surround yourself with people who respect and value your time and behave accordingly. Now, part of this is you teaching people how to deal with you. It is you having boundaries and setting those boundaries and maintaining those boundaries. This can be more of what I said before. When you give someone a task, you give them actually a positional agreement, a job description. These are the things that they're responsible for. You have done all the things you need to do in order to train them. You have a system of training. So you have videos, you have written documentation, you have all the things needed to properly support that person. And they get frustrated with something and they don't do something right and they come to you. It is you making sure that you don't jump in. Maintain the boundary of allowing them to figure it out, giving them the permission to try something different or try it their way. Now, this takes a lot. I know this takes you having a coach. This is not something that I know you're just going to do. But many times when we have business owners in here, it's an entire process to get there. But this is where you want to get to, because you'll feel more comfortable after you created the process of supporting them to allow them the freedom to figure it out, because you will know that you brought in the right person with the right skills, the right character, and they'll get it done. But this is a behavior, a life, these are lifestyle changes and behavioral changes, and it's all those things, but it's so important for you to learn to let go. Second thing is you have to eliminate the need for doing, I just said this, right? Doing or delegate those tasks and activities that just cannot and do not match up with the mandated value of your time. Oh my gosh, your time is so valuable. So you have to treat it as such. You don't have time for everything. You don't have time for every meeting. And we're going to talk about this a little later. You don't have time for every meeting. You don't have time for all those just a minute. You don't have you have to be very intentional about what you're doing with your time and making sure that it aligns with your goals. Just as that client said, having clear goals and clear activity that's going towards those goals, and you being intentional about maintaining your boundaries so that you are staying focused. So we didn't talk about this, but the main reason for this, and this is the premise that we work on here, is our definition of what a successful business is. It is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. That works without you. So it's learning to work on your business and not just in it, as I said before. But the big thing is, if something should happen, we're not worried about if the business is going to survive if I have to be away to take care of mom. Not or have to be away because I need to take care of my child, or if I just need to be on hiatus because so much is going on, right? You should be able to at some point walk away from your business and know that the business is not going to fall apart just because you're not there, right? It should not be the business should not hold you bonded, it holds you in bondage. It should allow you freedom. So that is the whole goal of what we do and why we do what we do. Time vampires. These are the things that steal your time. People who come by your office and say, "Hey, do you got a minute?" Right? How many times do you get that today? Before you even stop, I want you to just observe. Just I want your awareness to be up, to notice how many times someone comes to you and said, "Do you have a minute? Hey, can I talk to you?" How many times does that happen? And every time they do that, every time you're interrupted, studies say that it takes 23 minutes to get back on task. That's if you get back on task, because most of us will go on to something else and forget about what we were doing in the first place, right? So instead of answering every time someone has asked you if you have a minute, instead of saying yes every time, this says to invite them to go over their items at the end of the day. My full suggestion for you is to have a specific time for each of your team members, or have a specific time of your day that's set aside for people to ask you a question or come in with something, right? So don't allow it to steal your time. Create time for it. Take more control of your time. So you don't have to have a minute every time, because a minute doesn't always feel, it's not normally not a minute. It's generally at least 10. So we know that. So honor your time by saying, "Hey, not I'm not available right now. In order for me to give you my full attention so that I'm not like, worried about other things that's going on right now in this moment, why don't I set aside this time just for you, right? This time just for you, and then you have my full attention." And meetings, all the meetings are needed. And you don't have to have a meeting about everything. So just go through all the meetings that you have. See where you can shorten it. Sometimes you can just shorten it by having an agenda. Sometimes meetings are too long because you don't start with an agenda. what is it that we're going to accomplish? What is the end result we want to have? And it gives everyone something to do so that the meetings are also effective and useful. So go through the meetings that you have in your calendar. What is most important and what can be handled in maybe a different way, maybe an email. I don't know. But right, figure that out because you don't have to be in every one. All right, friends. So now it's time for a little exercise. A little exercise. I want you to, now we've talked about your calendar. We've talked about all the things you do. We've talked about the things you've hired other people to do that you're doing. And we talked about the things that you that are high skill, high fun that only you can do, and those things that are low skill, low fun that someone else can do. So with all of that in mind, I just want you to take a few minutes to write down 3 things that you can dump. Just dump, just don't need to be done. It's a waste of everyone's time, don't need to be done. The other is 3 things to double down on, 3 things to do more of. This is the things that are probably in that high skill, high fun area. 3 things to double down on. Or maybe in this 3 things is you maintaining your boundaries. Maybe that's one of those 3 things, right, to double down on. And the other is 5 things to delegate. What are the 5 things that you can delegate? And it doesn't mean that you have to delegate it right away, but at least write down the 5 things that you can start delegating and take and prioritize them. Which ones can be done first? Okay? So that's your assignment for this session. And if you need to, just pause this video. If you're watching the replay, write these things down so that you make this a very intentional webinar that you're getting something out of. Another success story. This is from Taylor. And she writes that Juliet and the expertise of Action Coach team have been a transformative force in her career this year. With Juliet's guidance, she's been able to focus her time into a level of efficiency needed as a business owner to additionally finish out a master's degree, take over her family business, and even have her first baby. Oh my goodness. All while growing the business. So her advice is if you find yourself stuck juggling what feels like too many goals, ideas, or projects, then we can help you learn to truly work smarter and dump the burnout trap of the grind. The grind is not the greatest thing. And it doesn't feel good either. It doesn't even sound good. So do yourself, your career, and your personal life a favor and reach out to us today. So I'm sure that in the stories that we've shared that you find yourself in one or both of those. So it's been a lot, and we're coming down towards the end. The one of the major concepts I want you to recognize is systemizing the routine and humanizing the exceptions. So there are certain things that you're doing every day. There are some things that you're doing every hour of the day. What system can be put in place? So maybe we're not delegating to a person, but we're delegating to a system. So what system can be put in place that captures that routine? So that can even be just in a checklist. If you find yourself doing something every hour, what is a checklist that you can put together? Because this will help you not only decrease your mental load and just give you a checklist where you can just go through something and get through a process real quickly, but it sets you up to delegate it later because you are building out the system as you go. Now, there are some things that just need to have the human touch, and that's fine. So that's fine. But the ratio is about 80-20. So it is you systematize about 80% of what needs to be done. And 20% is the human element, the human touch. Everything can't have a system, and we understand that. We are all humans, but try to get to or understand this ratio, and it'll help you to understand how to better systematize your business. So these are just examples of things that you can do to manage interruptions. I love the first one. It says get lost. right? But go to a space, find you a space inside of your office or a coffee shop or somewhere where you can just spend maybe a block of time, maybe 2 hours on one thing, so that you know for sure that you don't get into any interruptions. Don't answer the phone. You don't always have to answer the phone every time that it rings. I know it sounds crazy, but you don't have to. So figure out a system for either having a time where you're going to answer the phone or having someone else answer the phone, but just do an automated recording so that people know when you're answering the phone. There's so many things that you can take control over that you're just probably thinking that you can't. You can. You absolutely can. Um, Regulate your emails. We talked about that a little earlier. Setting a timer, setting a timer, just giving yourself, okay, I will be working on this for the next 10 minutes and create that time just to work on that. And also allow your team to know that these are the times, this is my busy time. Please don't interrupt me here. So that they know that they learn to respect your boundaries and respect your time. And in turn, you can start to respect theirs as well. This kind of goes twofold. You'll get a more productive team if they see you practicing what you preach as well. So that goes hand in hand. And when you're busy, be busy. Don't don't show idle hands or people will come and find things for you to do. So when you're busy, be busy, right? So just make sure you are on top of your calendar. And this is just more of what I talked about. I just kind of got ahead of myself. I love this one. Fire yourself to replace yourself. And this is just a process of being really honest about the things that you're doing, what specialties that you do extremely and extraordinarily well, and to focus on those things. When you find yourself doing things that you are not the greatest at, just ask yourself, would I hire me for this? If you're doing bookkeeping, you're making a lot of mistakes, would you hire you to be the bookkeeper or the marketing person? That's a good test, right? That's a good test. So just understand and be honest with you about what you're doing. Now we understand that in the beginning, of course, you're doing all of the things. However, you should start about 2, 3 years in to start to wean yourself off of certain things so that you're doing what is of your highest value to your business so that you can start to replace yourself. Start to write things down. We talked about this. Start to write things down so that you are not verbally trying to tell people what to do. All right. So I think we're at the bottom. Are we at the bottom of the hour now? Okay, so we got about 45 minutes. So we're going to sum it up. Most owners, so hopefully I've given you something to think about, something to do. And now we're going to ease into how you can continue. So most owners fail because they fall off the wagon and they stay off. Our purpose here is to help you not only stay on the wagon, but if you should fall off, help you get back on and help you get back on quicker, right? Um, and it's so easy to fall into certain habits. What we help you to do is to understand the habits that are useful and those that are not, and the new ones that you would need to adopt in order to become the person you need to be to have the business that you want to have. So coaching isn't about never failing. It's about getting back on track faster than you ever would on your own. So we're looking for business owners who are tired of the facade and ready to break through, just ready to get to what really works and ready to have the accountability to actually do that. And that is actually in community, that's with added accountability of being in a room with other business owners and coaches. It is having a focus on results and a focus on education that's directly related to what you need to learn in order to get there. So just a reminder, we are here to help you build a commercial, prof profitable, saleable enterprise that works without you. So this is how you can continue. We have different ways in which you can start working with us. If you choose to do something today, of course, we have bonuses because, like I love to say, we are action coach, not procrastination coaches. So if you are ready to get started, what you've heard has been wonderful, and you want to continue the momentum, or you want more of what you heard because you know you're not going to do it on your own, then you have the opportunity to join us. So we have number of ways that we coach. We coach in group and we coach in one-to-one. Today, the offer is for you to just kind of try us out and see what it is that we actually do with like weekly accountability. And that's with our 12-week business owner masterclass. You can start that today with just $100. And it's $100 a week, or you can come in with $1,200 and pay for it all at one time, and you get some nice little bonuses. Now, if that's something you want to do, please let us know right away. So this is for today only that we do this, because it just helps us to manage this better, but it helps you to get it in action and stay in action, because we know there's so much for us to do. We just talked about time and delegating, so we know you have a lot to do. So if this is pulling on you, if this is something you want to get involved in and you're ready, then let's start with the 12-week business owner masterclass. The next one starts in April. We meet once a week, and I think this one is on a Wednesday, but you'll get all the information. They're recorded, so you'll have it. You'll be in community with other business owners who are feeling kind of the same angst that you're feeling. So you get not only to learn from Brad himself, the one who started it, because the videos are done by him, but you'll also be in the room with other business owners and with a coach as well. So you get all the support for 12 weeks. And this is geared so that you can have some movement in your business and start to get out of the chaos that you may be feeling right now. So it goes over all the things, much of what we talked about today in more detail, but it also goes over many other elements of your business as well. Now, if you are thinking, okay, Teresa, this sounds good, but I'm not someone who's going to make a decision right now in this moment, then you can also schedule some time with a coach to just have a clarity call to ask more questions. Now, I'm going to put in the chat a link that has dates that are in April that you can choose. Again, you must choose a time today, and we can have a session with you and give you more clarity, answer more questions that you may have about the program. Okay, cool. So, but before you go, don't go yet. I would love to know it. I would love for you to take the time to go through your notes, even if you are doing this after the fact and you're watching the replay. First of all, put replay in the comments if you're watching the replay. And I would love to know what your top BFOs are. So BFOs is something that we talk about inside of Action Coach. It is the blinding flashes of the obvious. So something you heard today might have been I needed to hear that. Or I've heard that before, but I needed to hear it again. Or something that you may have had something that you were doing that you stopped doing that was working. And it's like, it's just obvious, like, duh, I know I should be doing this. I want you to write that down. The importance of writing that down is, if you don't, then it just becomes another fleeting moment and you don't do it. If you write it down, you're more likely to get it done and to focus on it this time. So whatever you write down becomes more powerful than you just thinking about it and saying it. But if you think about it, say it, and write it, then that's just that's that magic thing that makes it happen. And of course, if you need support, then you can reach out to us as well. So before we go, one of the things we love to do is to get your feedback. So we're going to give you some time to fill out the feedback. Also within that, you will see the options for you to choose today, whether you want to do the 12-week business owner masterclass, or if you want to schedule some time with a coach, you can make that decision on there as well. Any questions, thoughts, or concerns? Okay, cool. I must have covered everything. So, or y'all are just quiet, and that's okay too. But anyway, if anything should come up, please feel free to reach out, write in the comments. We gladly assist you. It is our goal and our passion to truly help build and support the small business owners in this area, in the Tampa Bay area. We know that we are the crux of this community, and we want you to be supported. We want you to have the life that you went into business for, and we're just really passionate about that. So if you need anything, please reach out to us at any time. We would gladly help you, assist you, or guide you, or put you in touch with who you need to be in touch with. So thank you guys for joining us, and I'm going to leave you with my favorite quote. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame by Les Brown. To me, that sums up coaching. You just can't see it when you're in it. And it's so important that you get some outside outside viewpoint from professionals, not just anybody, from professionals and from other business owners who are successful, who are solution based, and who are moving forward. So thank you for joining us. Now it's time for you to get into action and do something, apply something, do the homework, share the homework with us. If you did the three things that you need to what did I say? Do more of, or delegate. I forgot what the three ones are. Three things are. But if you do that assignment, let me know what they are. Let me know. And that'd be good accountability for you to just write it in the comments. All right, you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Teresa.
Awesome.
Great job.
Hmm.
Lexa, let us know when we're no longer live.